Hello, my loves. I am popping on for an impromptu energy update and just kind of discuss the energy that's been happening over the last week or so, the last few days, actually, the last 4 or 5 days, and what the next few days have to show for us, and what's really coming up in March. So let me share this right now real quick into my group, and then we will get started. When you're hopping on, let me know that you're here. Let me say hello. If I can share this, right post. We're just going to do that. There we go. Okay. Give you guys all my attention. So for those who are new to me or who are just finding this, I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel teacher and healer, and I'm really here to help you lead yourself, to help you be able to take you from where you are to where you want to be. And today I want to discuss a little bit of the energy and what's been coming up for a lot of people collectively. Like, I've been really feeling the collective energy, and I've heard from other friends and clients and people that they're experiencing similar things. So after a really intense meditation this afternoon and actually channeling with Nikola Tesla, which will be a whole nother video, I really felt inspired to pop on here. Hi guys, thanks for hopping on, and talk about the energy. So first of all, most of you know that we have the 222 portal, and for me, I started feeling that about the 20th, maybe even the 19th. I started feeling that a little bit earlier. By the time it actually hit February 22nd, I was actually coming out of it, and really starting to feel the benefits of what happened. And so for a lot of you, you might still be in the 2-2 energy, right? Because you might be on a different timing cycle than I, as far as how your evolution flows and how you need to, hey Crystal, and how you need to learn and evolve, right? So some people will feel it. Usually the way showers of the world go through it first so that they can kind of help you navigate it. And this one I definitely went through. A lot of times stuff is easy for me because I've done so much work. But there are times when I'm going to go through a personal up level as well. And this was one of them. And when I tell you that this is a huge timeline jump, this wasn't just a portal. We opened up that portal. Anytime there's a portal of energy, what's happening is there's certain alignments that happen in the universe that creates this hole or this portal that allows for high frequency. I have to stop saying vibrational, high frequency energy to come through. And that high frequency energy is like an electrical current, and it awakens something in you. It brings light to the void or the darkness that you don't want to sit in and you don't want to feel. And when that happens, we can feel the stirring, right? We can feel the stomach nausea. We can feel the sickness. We can feel the body aches. We can feel the headaches. We can feel all of those things, because not only is that energy coming in and shining light on things that we didn't know was there before, because, we've kept it unconscious or subconscious in the dark, it's also stirring it up. And in that stirring up, if we allow ourselves to feel, when we allow ourselves to feel, what we're actually allowing is for that energy to come into our heart space and for us to hold space. But when we avoid, distract, numb, try to escape, try to fix, we're saying we don't want to feel this. And so it intensifies, right? So this 222 portal, as this energy was coming in, it was stirring up some really big, deep stuff in me that I have experienced time and time and time again in different ways. And I got a whole new understanding. And what I noticed is my own personal, just side note, my own personal evolution is, in the past, when this heaviness rose, this feeling of I've got to change this, I would jump in and take action in that masculine energy. And this time I had such an awareness of, this is a pattern. This is something that I've experienced before. Don't pull the trigger yet. just don't react, just allow, just allow, just allow. And so I just sat in the uncomfortableness for days. And on 222, I really kind of shut down that day. And I spent the day, listening to this event and just being open to contemplation. And then yesterday I woke up and I shit you not, I felt like a completely different person. I literally feel like a whole nother version of me. One that has completely different perspectives, one that has completely different understandings, one that has understood alignment and divine will and free will in one way, and then went through this 3 or 4 days and have come out with this completely different version. And not just from spirit telling me, but from me embodying it. This came up from the bottom of my well, meaning what was shined down activated this ancient knowledge that we all have. I call it the well of all knowing. You guys should know this by now. And it activated that. And all this deep wisdom has been just coming to the surface. And so remember, when we live in totality, we're not just experiencing and feeling the icky stuff or the uncomfortable stuff, but we're also having mind-blowing insights from the wisdom that's at the bottom of our well that we didn't even know existed, helping us to transcend the belief that we knew before and opening it even more and allowing us to go, oh, I only saw a fractal of what this actually means, right? And so they're bringing this in, so let me pull it up before I forget. So something, before we go too far into the energy, Spirit always has an agenda too. Something that's been coming up through client sessions, private sessions, over the last 2 weeks is, something that Spirit team calls me as an agent of oneness, and something that they had me draw. I'm going to show you guys in a second. But this really, it's not something new. It's not something that I haven't talked about before. It's not something that I didn't know. But I brought it through for the first person that this came up for, and I've been able to use it ever since. So I'm going to share it with you because I actually used it today with someone else. So this is what they call the oneness. So this is the one and only truth. So there's always one truth, okay? But this may be the way that this is the view that I get of this truth. And maybe this is the view that you get of this truth. And maybe this is the view that someone else gets. I hate looking at this backwards. This is everybody else's perspective, their view of the one truth. Except, we just get stuck within our view. So when you look at something in totality, you got the good, bad, and the funky. You got your view, someone else's view. You got the world's view, whatever. There's so many different perspectives of the same truth. This is the helicopter. This is what they call, for my personal gift, right? One of my natural abilities is omniscience. And omniscience is the all-knowing. It knows all sides of things, or at least it's open to knowing all sides of things. But when it's in the low shadow frequencies, its view is limited. Right? It only can see what it can see. So I needed to bring that in so that you guys could understand. But this is also for understanding time, right? Because there's only this one now moment. We humans created a 1260 timing frequency that tells you that today is 4 o'clock, Tuesday at 4 o'clock, or Wednesday at 4 o'clock, whatever day it is, of 2021. We created that. That's not an actual thing. And so when you try to go back to, say this is your circle of your evolution, if you are here and you keep replaying this story from the past, you're not actually seeing the truth of what was happening in that moment. You're seeing it from this truth. So and then you're projecting it onto and creating this truth. And so if you're constantly pulling from somebody that is no longer you, right, you've shed your chrysalis and you have now come free with new wings. Every time you hit a new perspective of your truth, right, you're breaking that up every time. So if you're constantly revisiting the past, you're not even revisiting the true past. You're visiting a story that you have pieced together based upon the memories that the ego is attaching to. It's not even real. because there only is one now moment. It's just one continuous now moment that we are in, right? And so we're constantly going through. So no, I don't want to get too far into that, because then as I'm talking about, I can feel Tesla coming in, and I don't want to bring this to quantum. I really want to keep this about the energy update. I'm going to be doing more videos in the future. So let's bring it back to the energy. So we went through a huge timeline jump collectively. Now, some of you are going to feel this as small realignments, and some of you are going to feel like a complete, utter new person, a huge shift, and what is this energy asking of us? So the full moon portal has just opened today, and that full moon is in Virgo. It's on Saturday, right? It's actually like 3 something in the morning Eastern time. So feeling this full moon, what's happening is we're being asked to accept the new reality. We're being asked to make the change, to be the change that we want to see, that we want to create. And I know you guys hear that from me a lot, but when I've also, in communication with Tesla, received new understanding of manifestation and new understanding of the 369 theory and of all of these things. And the more and deeper and deeper and deeper I go into this with different guides and beings, the more I come anchored in that you have to embody that of which you want to see reflected back to you. And so we just went through this big timeline jump. So there's going to be a little bit of a storm with this full moon, and not a bad thing, but there's going to be there's going to be emotional instability, which is very common with a full moon, right? The tides are high, your emotional waters are high. But what this is asking of you is, can you accept who you are? If you are not at peace with who you are in this moment, if you are not anchored into who you are in this moment, if you are looking and saying, I'm not enough, that my life isn't enough, that I need to do this and this and this and this before I'm happy, then you aren't accepting who you are. So there needs to be something that changes. There has to be a change in the way that you speak to your inner critic, your inner critic, the way that you speak to yourself, the change in your thought process, what you speak out loud, you're creating, right? Are you in awareness of the words that you are speaking? Are you in awareness of the thoughts and the stories that are playing? Are you choosing to embody and be the change? Hello? Are you guys still here? Let me do this. If you guys are still here, let me know. Give me some hearts or comment. I think we're back. Sorry, we had a little glitch in the internet. So anyway, back to being the change, right? It's about you settling into acceptance of what it is that you are and what it is that you desire to be, and taking the courage, taking the being brave, having courage, and saying enough is enough. Like, this is what I'm going to do. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to see in my reality. And I'm going to wake up every single day and figure out what small, subtle things that I can change in my everyday reality, small, subtle shifts, small, inspired, right actions that you can make in your life to be the version of you that you most want to be. And so this energy can feel volatile. It can feel chaotic, but it's only because the energy's been stirred up. Like, we're stirring it up again. We're bringing it up to the surface and saying, is this you? Is this you? Is this you? Is this your truth? Or is this an old version of you? Right? Is this an old version of you that you're hanging on to? So this is really powerful energy. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with this energy is the mother wound has been rising with this energy. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing mother wounds or, if that energy is coming up. Let me know if that's you too. But I've heard a lot of people are having a lot of the mother wounds, right? And so you might not even recognize that what's happening to you or what's triggering you or the emotions that are coming up in you are from the mother wound, right? It's going to depend on your level of awareness and how really well you know yourself and how you know your patterns and your wounding. But the mother wound is coming up because we're being asked to be and lead ourselves. When we talk about new earth, right? We've made this shift into the development of the new world, and not from the new world order, but of the new earth, right? Of reconciling the way that we live in our world collectively. That world looks much different in 20 years. In 20 years, there's no money. There's no money system. In 20 years, there's no, let me give you this so that I can have that. It's a different type of energetic exchange. The government won't be the way that it is. There's going to be a lot of changes over the next 20 years. But before we can manifest that collectively, a world where we don't have not even Bitcoin, right? You guys think that a lot of people think that cryptocurrency is going to be the next big thing. And it is. We are going to go to a digital currency before we go to no currency, right? It is a stepping stone on that path. But we have to, before we can collectively go into a world where we're not being asked to be slaves and work all day, to pay a mortgage and credit cards and to buy groceries and do all these things. If we want to truly live from our heart space and we truly want to live in a quantum 5D reality, then we exchange through vibration and frequency. We exchange through doing what we love. We exchange by what our mission is and how we feel called to contribute, not because we feel that we have to, but because that's what brings us joy. But before we can get to a world where there is no corrupt government, there is no of these things and money systems and blah, 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 collectively, the majority of the world needs to be able to lead themselves. And most of you are still being led by other people. And that's not bad, right? It's just where you are. But if you're dependent on a leader changing this world, then you're in victim. You're God. Did you forget? And we are all a fractal of that God. That means for us to shift, which we are shifting, right? Love wins. We are shifting. It's a very slow unfoldment. Remember, it's a slow motion replay. For us to shift, we all have to have, or at least the majority has to have that switch happen in us that, I am, even though I'm not some big leader or famous person or political person or guru or whatever the hell you want to call it, I am an intricate part of being that change, of this shift. And I do that by me being the change, me saying, no more excuses. I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to create my reality. And if all that means is that you shift your perspective and you start seeing how effing abundant and wonderful and loving and how this world is perfect and on purpose always, you get to change your line of sight into that rose-colored lens, where that person next to you might still have the dirty lens of all the wounds going, this world is shit. And you're like, this is beautiful, right? Because perspective can either be your power or it can be your prison. Because it's just a thought. It's just a thought, and you can change a thought. It takes work, a dedication, determination, decision. Those are the 3 Ds. You have to decide, You have to be determined. You got to be those things. You have to choose this. Otherwise, you're a victim of it. You're a victim of the energies. You're a victim of this or that. Are you done with that yet? And if you're not, that's okay. I will love you where you are because we have to be there sometimes. And this comes in perfect alignment. I did not know this, what I know now, when I created my free 30-day challenge, becoming the best version of you, where I'm literally just giving my time for 30 days in a container to any single person who has decided that they are committed and determined to becoming their best selves. I'm doing a free 30-day challenge and free mini course that's live. You don't get to keep it, and then this happens, this energy downloads, and it's like, oh, that's why I had to do that. Because right now, all the planets are direct for 2 months. This is go time. This is the time to springboard, to quantum leap. So whether you do it through reading books or showing up for yourself or joining me in the free thing or hiring me to be your mentor, or you just sitting down with yourself every day and making the decision to figure out what you want to be and what change you can make today to shift your reality, this is the time. March is fantastic energy, you guys. And if it's not for you, then that's a reflection for you. So my signal is getting low, so I don't want to be on here. I don't want this to be too long, and I don't want us to drop off again. So my advice, get off the fence. Get up off the couch, the hole you've been hiding in, whatever it is. Ignite that light inside of you and decide. Decide. Choose. Who are you? What is going to give you peace? And it's never money. It's never anything outside of you. It never is. If you were handed all the money in the world tomorrow, the dream house, the dream car, the dream career, if you're not happy right now, that stuff may make you feel happy and excited for a moment, but you will sunk right back into your unhappiness. Because those things are a vibration. They live at a frequency. They vibrate out at a certain frequency. But if you can't sustain that frequency, the vibrations won't be meeting anymore, and you will lose everything. That's why you see the people who hit the lottery or get famous overnight, and then they end up broke, bankrupt, and in rehab. Why? Because all the things that they desired or thought was going to make them happy that reside at a frequency of, say, 12, that's what it's vibrating out. And it's constantly law of reciprocity. They have to be able to meet. So if you can't sustain the frequency of what you desire, then it won't be a vibrational match. Because what you're vibrating out from your frequency and what your desire is are two different things. So this is your opportunity. And this is why I had to come on here, because it was very adamant that everybody is being given a blessing right now of changing their life. So if you don't know how to do that, find somebody that can help you. Get a book, a mentor, a course, a friend, whatever. Do the work. No more excuses, no more fears, no more procrastinations. It's time for you guys to show up for yourselves and be the change. And you are giving a huge boost in March to do that. And this full moon, right? Release what is not you. Release what does not bring you peace. Release all of the things that you are holding on to. And see that desire that you have as a catalyst to create change, but from a very detached place. Because you know that it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen, but it would sure be awesome if it did. That is the true alignment, is when you are in the 0 point field, where it'd be wonderful to have all the things that you desire, but you know that they won't fulfill you, that you can create that inside of you. You are the creator of your reality, and you are the creator of your reality by how you perceive, how you respond, how you react, how you handle this now moment. Because the future, while it is already there, it already exists, you're not there yet. And you can make the future worse, or you can make the future better by how well you stay in this moment. There's no worry in the world that will change what comes next. And remember, if you're still reliving the past, regrets, shame, guilt, you're making it about yourself. You're going round and round a situation, creating the story even more and more away from the actual truth of what it was, trying to justify it, trying to see how it could be different. But forgiveness is you coming into acceptance that the past already happened and it's done. The forgiveness is giving up hope that the past could be any different. So this is a big opportunity for every single person. And I hope you guys take it. I know I took full advantage of it. And while things are not completely worked out, I know that I am at a reset point. I know that this is a pivot for me, for my business, for my life. And I've never been more clear about my mission. It's not like it's new. It hasn't changed. But I have that deep rooted understanding. I've been given the gift of hitting the bottom of my well and going, at the end of the day, this is your mission. How you can put it out this way, you can put it out this way. But me coming to terms with, what do I want to keep in my business that brings me joy, that I would do whether I was paid or not? Because it's just a part of me. I can't help but do it. And what do I want to let go of? And that's where I am now. So use this as a springboard for contemplation and allow all the magic to continue to unfold and happen. I want to make one last note real fast about the Schumann resonance. I've heard a few people making comments about how the Schumann hasn't been reflecting the incoming energy that most people have been feeling. Like there's people probably, I know a lot of people who haven't slept for days because they're wired and tired because of the amount of energy that's coming in. The Schumann resonance is not going to spike every time we have high frequency light coming in, whether, it's gamma rays or certain light codes or whatever it is. Schumann resonance is when the earth kicks it back. So she takes in that frequency, and whatever is left, think of it like acid reflux, right? It's coming into her and she's embodying it. And what she doesn't need, right? Her release is the Schumann. It's that release. When you notice, when we have those big spikes, a lot of people get nauseous. Why is that? Because as she's releasing, she's catapulting you to release too, because you're a part of her. You have to be to inhabit her sentient being. She is a sentient being. So just because you don't see the Schumann spiking crazy, one, the earth is at a new frequency. So she's able to take a lot more light in. And that's why you've seen some crazy numbers on the Schumann. But when she kicks back, that's her releasing karma. That's her releasing density. And we feel that because We are a part of her and she is a part of us. And that connects to our lower chakras. And we feel that kick up. And that's why so many people get nauseous. So just food for thought when you see the spikes or when you feel nauseated or whatever it is, that's actually what's happening. So I would love to hear how you guys are experiencing things. You can drop them in the comments. Crystal says, funny talking about this. I was drawn to my phone today at 222. 2 migraines that kept me in bed with my eyes closed. Haven't had that in a long time. Yeah, those are real big, you know, when your body speaks, there's a reason, right? Pain is a teacher. So if you're somebody who's going through physical pain in your body, whether it be headaches or chronic illnesses or major diseases or, you know, in my case, major surgeries, your body's speaking to you. Your body is telling you. And when your body speaks, you've missed the boat several times by now. The body is the last thing that speaks. It is. This is where the body starts screaming at you. It's because you haven't been listening to you for a while. Because the body is a manifestation. It is a living consciousness that should be respected and loved like an individual because it is a miraculous consciousness. Look at all the things it does without you telling it to. But we have the mental awareness first, then we have an emotional release, and then we see a physical manifestation, good or bad. And then the physical manifestation takes a while. So for me, I went through 7 years, actually longer than that, of living in fight or flight. So when I released everything, my body went haywire. And I had to have all this, you know, I had to go through all this body work. But there's a difference between that and chronic things. So you want to kind of look at, and this is why I'm always a proponent. Everything I do is about teaching you how to read energy, how to read your own energy, how to talk to your higher self, how to communicate, how to know, how to trust, how to love. It all starts with you. If you can't read yourself and communicate with yourself and your consciousness, honestly, you have no business helping anybody else. And that's my personal opinion, because you have to have the discernment of who you are. I hope you guys follow that and what's coming through. So anyway, we're going to wrap before I'm too long. You know, you guys know how I can talk. So I will be coming on in the future. I'm going to be talking about what I talked about before, alignment and divine will versus free will, and the deeper understanding that I've been given on those. And I'm also going to be coming and talk about channeling Tesla. So those are all some exciting lives that I'll be doing in the future, but I really wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about this. If you want to be a part of becoming the best version of you, the 30-day challenge that I briefly talked about, we start March 1st. There will be no advertising for this after March 1st, because there is a contest where you get to win a session with me and courses and things like that. So if that's something, if you're determined, if you're ready, if you want to be a part of that and you're not used to working with me and you're like, I would love to have this opportunity to get to know you and do that, then hop on in. Once I'm off this live, I'll drop a link in the comments everywhere this is right now. And you guys can check it out if you feel called to. I hope you guys have an amazing night, and I will chat with you soon.